Crabs and shrimp are without a doubt an important food source for many saltwater species. Quite regularly, people use a dark color crab to fish for black drum. While this isn't so different from many other crab patterns, there are subtle differences that are tailored to fishing my favorite black drum fishery. We will want to start our thread at the eye of the hook and secure it with some tight wraps. You will want to use a very strong thread, and Danville's 210 flat waxed thread is a good choice. Wrap all the way back to the bend of the hook with smooth wraps to cover the hook shank. Now snip off 2 to 3 strands of black crystal flash, or Flashabou. Fold the flash in half and snip it in the middle to create double the amount. The stuff I'm using here is holographic Flashabou, which I like a lot. Now tie it in right in the center of the clump, at the bend of the hook. Then fold it over on itself and tie that side in so it points rearward. The next step calls for some stripped tinsel dubbing. Ice dubbing, or in this case super flash dubbing, in a black color works well. For some extra flair, I am mixing a bit of golden peacock color in as well. Tie this clump in on top of the flash in the same way you tied in the flash. Tying it in this way helps secure the flash and dubbing and makes your fly much more durable. Now we want to select 2 thicker feathers from a grizzly hackle cape in order to make the claws. The shorter and fatter feathers can be found towards the base of the cape. For more information on properly selecting hackle feathers, click the hackle link at the top of the video. You will want to measure and trim your feathers to size. I have already measured and cut them here. To make a claw shape, pinch the tip of the feather and stroke the loose fibers back. Then clip the tip off, and the feather should now look like a split crab claw. Once you do this to both feathers, then tie one in on the side of the dubbing and flash. Then make a wrap under the feather to help the feather flare outward, separating it from the dubbing. Do the same to the other feather on the other side of the fly. As you can see, the feathers now stand out from the dubbing clump. Now, we will want to clip off a fairly thick clump of black synthetic fiber. Super fiber works really well for this fly. The clump should be about a pencil diameter in thickness when stretched out. You will want to cut this into 4 smaller pieces evenly. To do this, fold it over and cut it in half. Then fold each of those 2 pieces over and cut them into 4 small pieces. Now for the tricky part of this pattern. You will want to tie this in so it sits diagonally on top of the hook. 1 to 2 crisscross wraps works well. Then pull the fiber forward as much as you can and snug it up against the rest of your materials. Stroke all the fibers back and make a few wraps up against the fiber to create a small dam. This will lock the fibers tightly in place. Do the same cross wraps for another piece and snug it up as tight as you can against your last fiber clump. Again, stroke the fibers back and lock them in place as well. Continue this process 4 to 5 times until you have reached about 1 to 2 eye lengths from the hook eye. This is a time-consuming and tedious process, so have patience and don't worry if it is not perfect on your first try. Now, we will want to add a dumbbell eye. You want this to be large and heavy to make sure the fly gets down to the bottom quickly. For more information on attaching dumbbell eyes, click the dumbbell link at the top of the video. Whip finish your fly, cut off the thread, and add a drop of super glue to ensure the dumbbells don't twist. Due to the time and effort involved in tying these types of flies, I really like to ensure that they are durable. I like running a thin line of UV curing resin down the ribs of the fiber and up over the eye. The resin I am using today is made by Solarez, and it's their thin, hard formula. It's really thin and penetrates the thread wraps to really lock the materials in place. It only takes a few seconds longer for this step, and will ensure that your fly lasts through many hookups. Now we want to trim the fiber to create a shape of a crab like this one. To do this, stroke the fibers out with a dubbing brush, or just your fingers, then cut on an angle. You can cut outward or inward. On this fly I'm cutting inward. I am also cutting this one a bit thin to give more of a shrimp profile than a crab, which are another food source for black drum. Make sure it's even on both sides, then round out the sharp edges. And there you have it, a finished crab/shrimp fly that is great for black drum. As you can see, it has lots of movement in the water and sinks to the bottom quickly. But you can also swim this fly like so. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this sort of thing, please subscribe. Leave your questions in the comment section below. Now, go catch some fish.